Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, where tonight it's Sean with Mr. T. Reese in the co-chair and special guest TikTok superstar Mr. Pulley B, where we're going to be talking the state of the Buffalo Bills following their preseason game week 2 and the debacle that was. I know that Mr. Pulley B has some opinions on that, and I think we should start with that preseason game yet last night. What are your guys' thoughts?
It's about as ugly as the preseason is itself, win or lose. These games are never fun to watch. They're always just okay. When's it over? Oh well, there's a nice little story, but I'd rather get all that information on Hard Knocks. They're doing a much better job of it. You know, um, there's no need to watch any of these games. Really, you're just watching the logo bounce around. That's about all you're doing because that's about all it's worth. Because half these guys aren't going to be on the team. None of our starters played. Go ahead, Chicago. Have fun with your 38-0, whatever. Great. You beat us in the pre. You beat our backups. You beat the backups of our backups. Crushed them. Fine. Okay. Have your little victory dance. Sure, they're gonna have a party in the square, whatever. Down whatever this magnificent mile. There'll probably be a parade, a ticker tape parade, because the mighty Chicago Bears are back. They beat the Bills. Big deal.
In the preseason at that. But
Yeah.
the only thing was just discouraging to me. It wasn't just the score. There were some veterans out there. You're just like I said, I've not been on that train where I think the Bills should cut DeMar Hamlin. But if he's your only option to be the starter, you need to make a move. I'm sorry, you got to make a move.
Nobody's making moves. Nobody's making moves now.
They,
You're gonna have to look at the waiver wire, see if see if you get any cap casualties.
Isn't Justin Simmons out there? A Pro Bowl safety is a free agent right now. If we get that defense needs the safety. Safeties are crucial for McDermott's defense, and that's been one of the big issues for this defense is the safety play. Cole Bishop can't stay unhealthy. He looked like he still has not played football in the NFL. Yesterday, he looked like he never seen a football field in his life yesterday. There's certain players who you have expectations of. And you're right, Paul. These were the backups of the backups, but there were some people out there that were supposed to be the leaders to help string that along. And they were just as bad as them. They were just as bad as them. There's a reason why DeMar is out there. You know why he's out there? Because McDermott needs him to get reps. He needs him to be a leader on this team. And he did not do that. I mean, he looked bad yesterday. Dane Jackson, I'm done. I don't even know why he's here. Done. 2 straight preseason games, he's getting smoked on the field. I mean, if you're trying to make the roster, you got to do something. But I mean, my thing was just, I mean, they didn't even look like they were even competent in football. Not even one person on that field. Like, okay, you want to take it back. I thought Hancock looked pretty good out there. I did like that kid from Ohio State. I think he did get hurt in that game. I'm hoping maybe he is a successor for DeMar Hamlin. We'll see. And I was a little nervous with Palmer playing, considering what was out there with him. I'm glad he only played a series and then he just disappeared out of the lineup. I know they wanted to get him a few reps, but I'll tell you this. Outside those tight ends of Knox and Kincaid, they are bad. Those tight ends are not bad. They are bad. They dropped passes in the first game. They're dropping passes in this game. I don't want to have a roster because Bean brings up depth all the time, right? That's his thing. His key word: depth. Dude, they gotta do something because anybody gets hurt behind those key spots on offense. Because don't forget, they didn't really address it in the offseason. The offense, they didn't really address it in the draft either. So you're banking on these starters. Outside those starters, there's not much to scream about. There's not much at all. And I'm wondering if Bean maybe has some things worked out. There's rumors flying around about certain players and stuff like that. But I think depth is going to be – hasn't really done anything for me. I haven't seen any of these guys in the preseason really shine to me. A couple of the rookies look okay. T.J. Sanders and what's the other kid's name from Kentucky? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. He looked okay.
All right.
But
I kind of want to put a bow on what you're saying, Reese, because I agree with you. And I think that just a little bit of perspective, though, if you just take a step back and you think about 10 years ago when we were discussing who was going to be our starting quarterback, and we were having those types of discussions then. Now, our biggest problem is depth. It's a pretty good problem to have when you think about it. And I'm not saying that your feelings aren't valid because I share your opinion here, but at the same time, I'm really just trying to think, hey, the arguments we're having, once the real stuff starts flying, the real hard, real games start, we're going to forget about these conversations.
Are we
those other teams that are having discussions about who their starting quarterback is going to be, kind of almost like the Bears, they're going to remember this game, and they're going to remember this. I'd rather forget about this game. I'd rather not think about the preseason at all once those real pads start flying.
Well, I'll tell you, the reason why the depth thing has been on my mind was primarily because what has been the Bills' issue the last couple of seasons?
Injuries.
Yeah.
And the depth has been killing us because we don't have anybody great behind our starters. And we're kind of Go ahead.
But yet we're still at the top of the league.
Oh yeah, if your starters
Yeah, I mean, God forbid somebody gets hurt though.
Well, people were getting hurt. That's what his point was. People were getting hurt these past few years, which cost us possibly the last 2 championship games. And probably some of our other playoff losses were probably a lot what we can explain by injury. You get injuries like the Bills had in the last couple of years to other teams, they're done. Look at the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why the Bengals are getting so much credit. How long has it been since Burrow had like an MVP type season?
I mean, he had one last year. He did. Last year. If they made the playoffs, he would have got MVP over Josh.
I agree with that.
But I mean, they didn't make the playoffs though.
Mm-hmm. Right. No.
So I mean, they're like the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC lately.
Well, I mean, they went the same route the Miami Dolphins went. The Dolphins said, you know what, we're going to dump all our money on our quarterback and wide receivers and screw everything else. And you see where Miami's at right now. The problem with Cincinnati is that they can't pay nobody in their defense. Now Trey Hendrickson's coming back up as being on the trading block again.
Yep.
I mean, they put a line in the sand. They'd rather go offense, and just hope they can outscore everybody. But, obviously, like I know, you're not going to win a Super Bowl like that. But they got to play. They have to. They're trying to appease their quarterback who, as much as, whether you like Burrow or not, he's a great quarterback. But I think there's certain organizations that should not be going on allowing their quarterback to make all their financial decisions. And that's what that's what Cincinnati ended up doing is he went out on the limb. He went public with it about re-signing Higgins. Once your star quarterback does that, you can't go back on that because the Aaron Rodgers situation proves that. So, I mean, they've dug their own hole, and they're the ones got to play out of it. They got to hope they can draft, but they're not going to be ready for. I mean, you need another 2 seasons from the draft for that defense. They're not going to be able to draft everybody for that defense, especially if they trade Hendrickson. I mean, he's literally the last remaining, Pro Bowl player to have on that defense right now. And you trade him, now their defense looks like Miami's defense. You're just hoping somebody people to play the positions. But getting back to I agree with you 100%, Paulie. It's just that I'm always now that we're in a position of we know about success, but we know what's keeping us from getting over the hump now. And Bean keeps preaching depth, and this is why he drafted all these defensive players. I'm worried that these starters don't start getting hurt again. These are the guys that are going to be filling in again, and you're going to have the same problem you had last year.
And obviously we're not going to name it, but because we never would want this to happen. But there's really only one true injury that would kill this season.
Oh, I mean,
100%.
And and as long as he's good, we're going to be good. And I have all the faith in the world that because he's a step ahead. He is like maybe 3 steps ahead of Burrow, in my opinion. Especially with the public persona. Josh would win any election that he ran right now. Burrow would lose about half of them.
So my opinion on the game from yesterday is that you have it was basically the Bears starters against the Bills backups. A lot of these players on the Bills, though, are people who are fighting for roster spots. And to me, it felt like where was like the passion to like try to make the team? Like the way these guys were getting burned, it felt like they didn't even want to be out there for some of them.
And that's something that is going to be a consequence of their poor play is they're not going to make the team. Not every single one. Every year you see it, somebody gets cut that you weren't expecting.
Well, just to push back a little bit on that game yesterday, they've been practicing and playing against this team since Thursday, and it looked like they'd seen them on the field before Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the part that it eats at me. It's like you've played this team for 3 days, and you get in the Sunday, and not one player knows what's going on.
I mean,
you guys had me triggered last night during that game, man. You guys had me triggered.
You triggered yourself.
I was like, no,
I didn't trigger myself. You triggered me. You both did, complaining about like.
It wasn't
like Mike. It's like Mike. They marched straight down the field. Well, yeah, that's what happens with the touchdown.
That opening drive.
You march right down the field.
That opening drive, I can discount because that opening drive was their starters. I'm fine. You know what? I'm cool with them tearing us apart there. But once the backups and everything started to come in, it should have been a more competitive game. And the fact that anybody was saying that there was a backup quarterback competition between White and Trubisky, any talk of that should be just straight out the damn window. Like,
who was worse?
White was terrible.
Okay. Oh yeah. I agree with that. I think the backup quarterback position has already been settled as of yesterday.
Yeah, it's settled in our mind. I think it's already been settled in the coach's mind, and I think you guys are going to be disappointed with the decision.
You think it's going to be?
I think it is. Yeah, I do. I really do. I would be surprised if it was Trubisky, to be honest with you.
I hope to God that game last night should have lost Mike White the job. Which, real quick, I want to go on a tangent here, but speaking of backup quarterbacks, did you hear, I believe it was the Jets reached out to Nathan Peterman?
Let him.
There's something to be said about being liked by your starting quarterback, and that's probably what that is.
Yeah.
And I think Trubisky said it, didn't he? Somebody said it. Somebody that was here said it, or maybe it was one of Kansas City's backups. That the only reason so and so got this job is because he's friends with Burrow. He's friends with Mahomes. He's friends with Josh.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna. Josh has made the decision of who's going to be his backup, and and there's no way anybody else is going to challenge him.
Well,
he's going to make that call.
I'm expecting Mike White to get cut, and I think Brachel's was going to be the practice squad quarterback. I think that's what's going to happen because you don't need Mike White at this point. You have 4 quarterbacks. Put someone who could probably, somewhat learn more on the practice squad. And in my opinion, Brachel would be better than White. White's been on 3 different teams now?
Yeah.
3 different teams, and hasn't been able to cut it anywhere. The thing is with him, he started before in the league. So it's just kind of like, dude, what? You're acting like you've never played quarterback before. What are we doing out here?
There's only one team in the league that needs 4 quarterbacks, and that's the Cleveland Browns. But out of so quick question then for you guys. From what we've seen so far this preseason, who's impressed you?
Ooh. That's a very
Trey White.
Who?
Yeah.
Trey White.
No, I can't say Trey.
I love that. Number one, I love Trey. Trey is, he's one of my favorite Bills. Not of all time, but like definitely of this period. And
I'm rooting for him too.
I just love his spirit and his energy, and and his genuine. It feels like he's really does have a love for his childhood game, and he wants to,
Man, you know who else? You know who else?
Who?
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah.
But do you want him to start?
From what I've seen of Damar Hamlin, his entire work, I'm not gonna judge him on the last few weeks. But I've never really had a problem with Damar Hamlin out there. I got nervous a couple times before the injury. I got nervous every time I'd see his name pop up a little bit, but then, watching him develop and change to who he is now from where he was then. And I'm pretending like the injury never happened. I'm just going by his play. I've never really felt too nervous with him back there. He got to play behind Poyer and Hyde for like a few years before he was really asked to step up into more of a leadership or a experienced or starter. And I'm going to take that. I'm going to take his career as a whole and say you're going to see some progression. You're not going to see what happened yesterday. These guys aren't taking these games seriously either, and that's the thing. That's the reason they shouldn't even happen. But there's nothing you could do.
But then that's a concern. Then I mean, if we're going to go by what you're saying, is that Damar Hamlin is not concerned. That's a problem. Because that means that
I'm not saying just Damar Hamlin. I'm saying everybody. It's not just Damar. It's everybody, probably on both sides. That don't care about these games.
But I don't think if that's the message these guys are getting from McDermott right now, that's not good. You shouldn't be complacent. And it seems
McDermott seemed pissed.
Let's say let's say Damar is complacent. Let's just say he assumes he's going to make the roster. Now that's a concern because I think he's a liability back there. I can use him as a backup. I just don't want him to be a starter. That's where my problem is. Are you muted?
We lost your sound, Paul. Your sound's gone.
Well, why are you trying to figure out the volume there? My concern is I think complacency is what's held this team back from big Super Bowl is we find these players who we fall in love with, whether they're good, great, or bad, and we as Bills fans, accept them as one of our own, which is fine. But you also got to put in perspective that some of these guys, they're a reason why we haven't won a Super Bowl too. I mean, Damar Hamlin plays for you. You need a big play guy back there, and he's not that guy. And now you're going to have a rookie cornerback who I expect to start this season. I expect him to be the starter. I think. Well, I take it back. I think Trey White will probably be the starter in the first game because they got to wait for Maxwell to come back. Well, Maxwell's got to come off injury. He's coming off injury, and he's going to be. They claim he'll be ready for week 1, but he hasn't had any practice. So I think Trey will probably start the first game. Trey is a bit of a liability. He can't cover over the top. So you're going to get those cushions that we used to complain about from back in the day. He's going to give up those 4, 5, 6-yard cushions underneath. And this is why they couldn't get people off the field because they weren't athletic enough or strong enough at the cornerback spot to stop people on third downs. So
right.
I love Trey. I would love Trey to be on this roster, but not as a starter. He's got to be a backup guy. But I think because of injuries, again, he's probably going to end up starting until Maxwell can get into the lineup. And my concern is that Trey, again, he's not very good at covering over the top. He has to give a cushion just to protect himself from getting ran off the field. And that's what kills you on third downs. And it reared its head again the first game he played. We got you. Yeah, it reared in that first game. I know it's preseason, but these reps do mean something. And if I'm still seeing the same tendencies you've seen before, I mean, that doesn't make me feel any better. I just don't want to see these guys as starters. That's
Right.
what I'm asking. Is I don't want to be in a position where you have to force these guys to end up being starters. And I think that's kind of where they're at right now because of the injury stuff. And I just don't know where they're going to go. I think Trey White's going to start first game. They're going to see how Maxwell, Harrison is kind of coming off the injury. And
I
then,
heard he's going to be placed on that short-term IR.
you think
Really?
That's what I heard.
because I heard the report that he's been at practice and he's been doing like jogging and doing stuff
Yeah,
off the side.
I think what the intent there is, if they need an actual spot for a couple weeks somewhere else, they may put him in IR, sacrifice his first few weeks, and then bring him back in as soon as they've fixed whatever need they need on the other end of the roster somewhere.
Short-term.
Instead of using that roster spot.
IR, like if he gets put on IR, he can't play for 4 weeks, right?
I think they changed it. I heard Sal, I think, say 3.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
But then he's going to have a ramp up period where he won't play in that third, so it'll be at least 4 weeks before he even sees another field.
Yeah.
So I mean,
maybe the coaches feel like he needs to see the speed of the game from the side at first because he's not grasping. So who knows? There could be a number of things that they might think that it'd be better to give him a step back, make sure he's on the team. That frees up a roster spot that's for somebody else that they really want to keep but wouldn't have. So it might just be like a roster move.
yeah, because I mean, the only other cornerbacks you got right now outside of him, underneath him, is Trey White and Dane Jackson. It's the same as before.
Yeah,
not making any improvements there.
Yeah.
And then don't forget now, you're also going to have 2 players who are suspended for the first 6 games. I love the fact we got Josh. I'm with you 100%. As long as we have Josh Allen, we got an opportunity every single time. But what has been Josh Allen's Achilles is this: he hasn't had a defense that really supports him.
I get it. I get it.
Again, maybe.
But I want to go back to what you said that it might be a coaching thing. I really don't think it's a coaching thing. I think it's more of a meta thing where, I think the Players Association are coming up with another contract renewal next year.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be a thing where they're like slow quitting the preseason games. I haven't seen really much preseason football outside of, because I didn't even watch the game, to be honest with you. The only thing that I'm going off of replays that I've seen, and from some of the other teams, it's all across the league. It's not a Bills issue. It's all across the league. This is a player issue. They don't want the preseason.
No, I agree. And quite frankly, I still think 3 games is too many. But the problem with the NFL is they need to make up money if you remove some of those games. So they're going to add more games into the season.
Yeah, they'll just add. I mean,
good idea.
No, it's not. But at the same time, they've made a production out of the preseason, but the product is awful across the league.
If they cut a preseason game, do they go to an 18-game season?
That's what the NFL wants.
That's what they want.
They want to add another game, and I just think that that's at a detriment to the players because now you're going to be put out there even more. You're going to risk more injuries now playing in an additional game.
Yeah, but like Paul said, the revenue is going to have to be made up somewhere. I mean, the preseason games aren't bringing in the same amount of money, I can't imagine, as a regular season, but that's still money that you're losing as a league.
they don't bring money in off of ticket sales anymore. This is mostly TV deals. NFL makes.
Yeah, it's TV. It's TV, 100%.
Yeah, they can care.
TV and streaming.
That's why they don't care about blackouts anymore, because the channels are paying them tons and tons of money to put the games on TV now. And then when you get a team like the Bills, who is a team that NFL forces channels to pay a premium for, they're making so much money on that. They make money on just the teams playing on TV. The Bills play the Chiefs. Every channel is vying to get the game.
Yeah.
Every channel. And this year, what, I think it's at 4:00 this year. It's a 4 or 4:30 game this year against Kansas City.
I think so.
Yeah.
That tells me that they paid the most for the game. So people are picking, the channels are picking and choosing, what games they want to pay for. So the NFL can give a crap about anybody showing up to stadiums anymore.
So speaking of money, what are your guys' thoughts on the James Cook extension?
I mean, I really, you want to go first?
Go ahead, Paulie.
I don't really necessarily love it, but I don't necessarily hate it either. I'm just like okay with it. Like, just okay, it's fine. It's over. Not a team. Now produce. Now show me that you're worth it. It's your turn now.
Yep.
You said, hey, I'm this good. I deserve this much, blah, blah, blah. You even sacrificed paychecks because you were sitting out, voluntarily sitting out of stuff. They're going to start taking money from you for doing that. So you kind of put your money where your mouth is. You just may need your rest of your body to catch up with the money in your mouth.
Yep.
Because you need to prove it now, and it's all on you. There's nobody else you can blame.
Yep. Yep.
It's all on you now, because you're being given this opportunity now to show us.
Well, it's not even, and the thing is, Gary, I'm in the same place as you. It's like, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens here. And I'm pretty sure, because my understanding is what, guaranteed 10 a year, 11 year, every year, something like that.
Like 11 or 12.
No,
I think it's like 12.
And on top of that, the full contract with incentives is like $48 million total, which means he's probably got incentives up the what to get up to that 48 million, by the end of the contract. But I think the Bills, fine, you're going to get paid. I'm pretty sure the incentives are you're going to have to be over 50% on the field. And that includes being able to be out there on third downs. And that's been his problem, is that he can't play on third downs because he can't pass block. Think about it. What was it? Paul, do you remember what it was sold to us when we drafted him? He's a great catcher out of the backfield. He doesn't have a lot of tread on the tires because he wasn't the main running back coming out of college.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen him really catch the ball all that much because the Bills don't trust him to be out there to catch the ball, because if he has to pass block, he's a liability. That's where the question is going to be, is can he be on the field for 50% more? He gets one or two injuries, and he misses a couple of games here and there. He's not going to make his incentives. He's not. He's got to be on the field 50% of the time. You miss 2 games, that's a hit. That's a hit. So yeah. I just need – listen, it's only going to go 2 ways. Either he's going to regress or he's going to ball out again this year. And if he's just average, you're going to hear every fan in Buffalo complain about it. If he's just kind of in. I mean, you had 17 total touchdowns last year. If he only has 10 this year, we're going to lose our fucking minds. Excuse the F word. But we're going to lose our minds. If he only
I think that's
touchdowns.
Well, you will. I probably wouldn't.
But are you paying a running back for 10 touchdowns that kind of money?
It's not my money.
Oh, technically it is.
He's right. I think that's the problem, though, is he set a standard for himself with the year that he had last year that I would be shocked if he could hit that again. I would love to see it happen, especially if he starts playing all 3 downs. Honestly, that's been my biggest problem with Cook this whole time, is that you only ever see him on first and second down. Like, I don't think that a running back should be paid that much money unless you're playing every down. I mean, look at Barkley and look at Henry. They play all of the downs. They earn that money. I think playing 2 out of every 3 downs isn't enough.
Perhaps I would think I would expect that production to increase. I would just that's something I'd just be expecting out of this contract. That, you know, you want to be paid that money, you better do the things that money requires. And that's all that's about. And by the way, my season ticket holder money, I've been told by Terry Pagula himself, is going towards Joshua Allen's salary. So, you know, they could do whatever they want with the rest, as long as my money's is there. You know, I'm happy with. I don't really care too much.
The important question: did Terry call you himself?
Yes.
Okay. So one last question for you guys for this episode. For what we've seen so far between Hard Knocks and these couple episodes or a couple preseason games, do we have anything to worry about going into week 1 against the Ravens?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you're always going to worry about a game like that. It's a premier game in the league. It's going to be tough. I don't think even Ravens fans are saying that they're not worried. Because if you're not worried about a game like this, then why are you? I mean, you just, you know, speck of dust flying around the world, just like whatever. Okay, sure.
Do you guys then still stick with your prediction of a Bills win? I know I was the only one to predict them to lose week 1.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the win. We got the home field advantage. It's Sunday night. Josh Paul's out in prime time.
Yeah.
Those are facts.
Mm-hmm.
So does Lamar, but the Ravens don't necessarily.
Well, yeah, no, I'm on board with Paul. I mean, I think the favors in the Bills' hand, obviously, with the home field advantage. I think that this is probably the one season where I think the first game of the season is what the Bills need to set a tone for the season for themselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they win that game, and then the competition level, let's be honest, drops significantly for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. And so you can come if you can pull out a win against them, then number one, we can breathe. Right. Give a sigh of relief that okay, we are going to still be competitive this year. But I think this is the game that's for the defense. I don't think it's about Josh Allen for this game. I think it's just about the defense.
Well, yeah, specifically how they ended last season. Most of the guys are back.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the last time we played the Ravens, I don't think it went so well for us, and it's also a Sunday night game.
No,
or a Monday night game. What?
You beat them in the playoffs.
No,
yeah, but the regular. I'm talking about the regular season game.
Okay.
They punched us in the mouth pretty good that game.
Yeah, but the year before,
I think
the comeback game.
What?
The year before that was the comeback game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we're kind of even with them during the regular season, and we're undefeated against Lamar in the playoffs. Correct?
I think so.
Sounds right to me. We have 2 playoff games against them. We beat them both times.
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
first time was because of what's his face.
I'm not fearful of the Ravens at all. It's just one of those. I mean, they're a great team. They're a good organization. They stay competitive every year. I just think Lamar has his limitations. I just think some people just don't want to admit it. But I expect us to win that first game. I expect it to be a shootout, though. I don't think we're going to walk all over them or anything like that. I mean, I'd be shocked if we just ran them out of the stadium.
Yeah,
stunned.
Yeah.
If we run Baltimore out of the stadium, we better win the doggone Super Bowl.
If we started the season like that, I would be right there with you in agreement with that. They better win the damn Super Bowl if they run them out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's always a competitive game against them. It's never really a one-sided game. Generally, the games against Baltimore are always 2 different halves.
Yep.
Every time we play Baltimore. So the first half is always, for the Bills, is always a little shaky. Every time we play them during the regular season, that first half is always shaky. And it just kind of depends on how our first series happens after halftime. And generally, if we score, we look pretty, back on track at halftime. We usually win those games. Just the games that we can't beat them in is when they let Derrick Henry or whoever else they got running the ball run up. And it's never, and people don't realize, it's never Lamar that beats us.
No.
Yeah.
It's never
usually Derrick.
It's always the running game. It's always the running backs. And that's who beats us. And then, they get, situationally on defense in their secondary, they're really good. And I think that this is going to be all about the defense, though, this game. I think if the defense shows up, especially some of these young guys they drafted this year, I mean, it's a good test for them. If they can hold up Lamar and slow down that offense and keep Derrick Henry out of the way, you're setting the tone for the rest of the season. You're putting the league on notice. So hopefully, everybody shows up. We don't get a stinker like we just watched yesterday.
They need to be able to stop that run. That's the big key, I think, for that Baltimore game. That's why we lost that regular season game last year. Henry just ran wild over them. But any other closing thoughts before we close this out?
Man, let's just go Bills, man. Let's get this last preseason game over with, please.
I'm done. I'll wait 3 weeks. It's fine. I can wait patiently until the first regular season game, which is going to be amazing.
I don't got it in me. I need it to start right now. I need to see Josh in the field. We haven't even had our dose of Josh yet.
Yeah.
We haven't even had our dose yet. Usually, last year, I think he played one series in the second game. Then he played a few series in the third, and that was it. We haven't seen him at all this year. We have not seen him on the field at all. So I think that's what we're waiting for. We just want to get Josh out there and get this ball rolling, get this offense up and running, and get this defense rolling.
I know I'm looking forward to the regular season and beating both you in fantasy again this year, like usual. But just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in to this episode of the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Give us your thoughts on what the Bills look like, any other NFL thoughts. Thank you, Paul, for joining us. Everyone make sure to check him out on TikTok at PullyB. And then thanks again, guys. Have a good night.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Hold on, it froze on me.
We're cutting this out, right?